Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Miller's Girl. A creative writing assignment yields complex results between a teacher and his talented student. It is only 5.3 on IMDb, which I think is pretty low, but I guess, I don't know, what do I know, right? 3,021 people rated it so far, but it stars Martin Freeman, Jenna Ortega, Bashir Salahuddini, I think I recognize him. Gideon Aldon, I know her, but I don't remember her name, but it looks like I know her face. Anyway, so the first two, I think Martin Freeman, right? I think I know him. Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of different things. I don't know, I expected it to be higher scored, but hour and 33 minutes long. Might not be my cup of tea, but let's give it a look. I'll let you know what I think. Hey everybody, read the credits of Miller's Girl, and phew, tough one. A lot of them have been tough recently. This one, I don't know. So I'll start with this. So she's a student, a high school student, and Martin Freeman plays Jonathan Miller, and Jenna Ortega Cario, whatever her last name is, just missed it. But this is all coming on the screen. But anyway, so she's a student in his class. He's I guess just a teacher, not a professor. He's a teacher. He wrote a book, whatever, well respected, and she's the star pupil, right? And she reads a lot, and has a very good vocabulary, can write really well, and he gets really excited about her and really wants her to be successful. And one thing about movies like this, like great, I don't know. I don't know if it's jealousy or what, like they're all so well spoken and they have a way of saying things, and then some of the things I don't even understand what they're saying because they're using words that are too big for me. So while I don't, so I get mixed up in that aspect, that piece of the emotional pie when I'm watching these movies. It's like, wow, I wish I could read more. I wish I could write more, but I don't know. Anyway, and he's married. His wife she was in Succession, but that's regardless. That's where I recognize her from. But it's like, not the best marriage. She has some kind of job that seems like it's a pretty good one. She makes a lot of money, but basically she sits in her home, like in lingerie, working and drinking. So, but she's all business, so they don't really get a lot of time. So you can see where this is all kind of leaning. I mean, I think any of the trailers or anything like that kind of leads you to believe that, hey, star pupil, guy with, not the best marriage, who's being respected by star pupil. There could be, some lines potentially crossing. But, without getting into great detail, I thought after watching this movie, man, I am glad I didn't become a teacher, and it's like, wow, so as you can imagine what could happen here, and she's got a friend, right? Just Wendy, I think her name is her friend. And I'll say the interesting piece was, so when we start this movie and we see what's going to start to happen, or not even that point, we're doing some character development at this point in the movie very early on. We're introduced to Jenna Ortega's character, and she lives alone. Parents, are rich lawyers that like travel the world and aren't home ever. So she lives in this huge mansion by herself. But she's, very, focused on grades and being a good student kind of thing. Reading and writing, all that kind of 4.6 GPA, has her eye on Yale, all that kind of stuff. Whereas her friend, who also ends up being pretty smart too, she's more the adventurous, external type of person that kind of becomes like the devil on the shoulder for a little bit for Jenna Ortega. But then as the movie progresses, you see Jenna Ortega's character completely change, more above and beyond what her friend Wendy was at the beginning of the film. So that was kind of interesting to see that whole just switch, and her become somebody she wasn't. Yeah, and so it's a lot of, I don't think it's a spoiler, it's a lot of I don't know, seduction kind of sex-driven type movie. Not that there's, sexual sexually driven kind of movie, not sex driven movie. There's not like that in this movie. It's just more of, you know, flirtations going whichever way. So, you know, you can kind of see it all happening, but you don't know where it's gonna go. I'm surprised it's a 5.3. I don't know why. Not that I thought it was much better, but I think other people would have more of an appetite for this. I mean, probably not anybody who is a teacher or ever wants to be a teacher would like this movie. And you could see the sinisterness behind it all. So, that's what I got. Not much else. I wouldn't even say, like, if you're, you know, you're a reader or anything like that. I don't think that works in this sense, because while these people are, you know, the characters seem to be well read and like I said, a big vocabulary, they don't dive into a lot of like citing of different books and stuff like that, or deep in, you know, there's some citing here and there, but it's not like that. So it's not really like, hey, if you really like books and you read a lot, you really like this movie. No. I don't know. If you like seductive teacher-pupil movies, this is the one for you. That's what you get. I mean, yeah, that's, I don't know what else to say, you know. That's all I got. I don't know if I'm helpful at all. I mean, I could talk a little bit more about Jenna Ortega herself and the kind of, you know, moving of her career, and the way her career, you know, I mean, not going, but you can see kind of a projection there. This one wasn't well received at the box office. Again, not sure exactly why. I mean, there's nothing that stood out for me, but for others maybe. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I'm sure I got more, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully I was helpful. But either way, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Kimmel's Irish Pub.